The whole reason for the Black Farmers Market is trying to get more of the Black community into agriculture, horticulture, just growing their own food and being out in nature and connected with nature. Why are there so few Black farmers in the UK? Where are they? Who are they? Why are they so hard to find? Why don't we have more?
Historically, we've always been connected to the land. We've always been growers. We've always been custodians of the earth.
What we're doing, in fact, is creating a platform where Black people are taking centre stage when it comes to the environment. A lot of the food that we eat today has less nutrients in it than the food that was eaten 10, 20 years ago because of the quality of the soil. We have health issues that are related to not having the right things in our diet, because what feeds you is what heals you. My thing was, how do I close the loop? How do we get all the other components in place so that we can keep the pound circulating within our community for as long as possible? I thought, well, maybe if we get some Black traders in, some Black growers, then we could have a Black farmers market. And then I think that's where I started down the rabbit hole.
Welcome to the Pollinators, where we spread some pollen on individuals and organizations that make people grow organically.
Welcome to the Pollinators, episode number 3. Today's special guest, and I'm buzzing about this, is Natasha from the Black Farmers Market. Please introduce yourself to the public and a little bit about what you do.
Hello, my name is Natasha. I am a founding director of the Black Farmers Market. We are, on the surface of it, you see a market. When we do our market events, so far they've always been on Brixton Station Road. But beneath the surface, the whole reason for the Black Farmers Market is trying to get more of the Black community into agriculture, horticulture, just growing their own food and being out in nature and connected with nature. What we're doing, in fact, is creating a platform where, Black people are taking centre stage when it comes to the environment.
Man, that's a buzz, definitely. You've been working with Black Farmers Market for about 2 to 3 years now. You've been as an organisation. What are some of the challenges that you face in terms of actually doing the market or doing some of the events? Or
if I was wheedling it down to it's very basic, I am obsessed with food. And that means that it's not just about the way something looks or tastes, it's also where it comes from and the quality. A lot of the food that we eat today has less nutrients in it than the food that was eaten 10, 20 years ago because of the quality of the soil. A lot of people don't know where their food comes from, how it's grown, whether it's the most nutritious, how to get the best, like what are the nutrient-dense foods. We have health issues that are related to not having the right things in our diet, because what feeds you is what heals you. So we're not getting what's nutritious and what's healing. That's a problem. And that's part of the reason why we do what we do. We want people to really take nutrition and their health seriously, to know what it is that they're putting in their body, to know what it is and how to grow those things.
And I suppose the question is, why is it so important for Black people to actually grow their own food?
One of our main objectives in Black Farmers Market we call closing the circle. So we talk about the circular economy, and when I think about what that means for the Black community, it feels like that circle's never closed.
Yeah.
So, as someone who used to have a business where I made sauces, I wouldn't buy the jars that I put my sauces in from the Black community. I wouldn't buy the ingredients that I made my sauces with from the Black community. As a Black woman, I make the sauce and then I might sell it at a Black market to the Black community, but then that money I have to then reinvest into other communities. So my thing was, how do I close the loop? How do we get all the other components in place so that we can keep the pound circulating within our community for as long as possible? So I'm buying the ingredients or getting that from within the community, and then we're putting that into, because we've got so many catering businesses. We've got Auntie's Jollof, or we've got Uncle's Jerk, but are those ingredients coming from within the community? They're not. Let's do more of that. I thought, well, maybe if we get some Black traders in, some Black growers, then we could have a Black farmers market, because I've not seen that before. And then I think that's where I started down the rabbit hole. I started down the rabbit hole because then it was like, well, where do I find the Black growers? Why are there so few Black farmers in the UK? where are they? Who are they? Why are they so hard to find? Why don't we have more? Like, why does it feel like this industry is shut to us? You get the arguments, or people saying, oh, maybe black people don't want to grow food, maybe they don't want to farm, they don't want to be outside.
Yeah.
It
Doesn't make sense.
add up to me.
And even if that was true, what are the barriers that are stopping people from doing that? Because historically, we've always been connected to the land. We've always been growers. We've always been custodians of the earth. And I think it's really interesting that both of us are in a sector where the environmental sectors are second least diverse, the farming is the least. And you've entered both of those arenas as well. It's like, wow, that's a phenomenal achievement. So we're here in this beautiful space. We had a look around. As soon as I came, I was just like, oh my God, this is incredible. Like, people just doing what we need to do is actually just growing food. So you've got 1 acre?
Well, 1.5.
1.5, that's a buzz. So what's the plans? What's the vision? Let people get an idea, a flavour of what's going to happen in this space.
So yeah, we want to create a market garden. So we want to create a space where we're growing produce that can create a stream of income.
Wow.
We're growing for local businesses, but also to do like markets and events and stuff as well, where we can connect to people and meet more people. That's one side of it. The other side is we want to create a space where people can come and learn how to grow their own food. So they can come along, they can do the kind of permaculture courses, they can learn about agroecology and Afro-agroecology. They can learn how to grow cultural relevant foods. And then, they can just kind of connect. They can meet the other people that are interested. They can be outside. They can get their hands in the ground. They can ground and connect with the soil in a way that you don't get an opportunity to do enough. So yeah, we want to do that. We want to have a space where we obviously have like kind of polytunnels, so we can grow even when the weather's not.
That's right. Get that calendar going in. Never done.
And just experimenting as well. Like everyone in the team is really down for trying new things. So
Brilliant.
We are really open to experimenting with new techniques, seeing what works here, what works in this land. As you know, especially in Lambeth, my borough, you can wait 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years for an allotment plot, but waiting list is so crazy, it's closed. So, if you do want to grow your own food, you can. Once upon a time, you could go to your common land,
right?
And you could go there and you could grow your carrots.
And no one said anything.
No one said anything, and you could do that and you could feed your family. We can't do that now. And at a time when we are in the cost of living crisis, and people are struggling with their grocery bills, it makes sense that you would have access to land and you could do things that could help to bridge that gap. We don't have that. So, kudos to the people behind Roots Allotment who have, really put their necks out and created this concept. But what they've done with us is basically we spoke to them, they approached us. Well, we approached them and they approached us back and saw what we were doing, and we came to them with the idea that we would love to have a market garden space. As loads of people from our community would love space. We love somewhere where we can grow and we can teach others in our community to grow and do other fantastic activities like you do at your project, which are fantastic for your mental health and well-being. And they were down for the idea. They said, we love working with community enterprises at all our different sites, because I think they definitely have a site in Bristol and a site in Birmingham as well. And we were lucky enough to be the community enterprise that they're happy to work with. So, yeah, we've got over an acre that's going to be offered to us. And we should be launching that at the end of the year. Right here at Meadowfields, which is in Croydon, which is a borough that's just gone bankrupt for the third time in a row. So this is what we need. This is what the community needs. It's brilliant. And in the heart of South London, I couldn't be happier.
It's a phenomenal, I don't think when I heard what's happening, because you talked about a circular economy, and to me, this is over the years, this is stuff that needs to happen. To me, this is like, you hear all these campaigns, all this work around, reparations and stuff, but this is fundamental. The redistribution of land and resources is fundamental to us basically doing the work we need to do. It's not handouts. It's actually just making it more equitable for our people as well to basically do what we need to do. So I'm so amazed and so happy for you to see this happen, and I just hope it keeps flourishing. We talked earlier a little bit about the project, but then let's talk a little bit about your personal journey. You're part of my special club. You're part of the Neurodiversity Club as well. So how do you, I find it really challenging just navigating. We had a conversation offline just talking about all the kind of like policies and governance and all the things just to get to the point of actually doing the real work. How do you manage that within yourself? Like, and first and foremost, do you mind me talking about this? Is that okay? Because I think, okay.
Yeah, I'm very proudly dyslexic. And I love that we call it neurodiversity rather than difficulty.
There you go.
Isn't it so much more empowering?
100%.
But yeah, you know, the way that our minds work is different. And as much as it can feel like so many challenges and so many hurdles and so many things that so hard, also it's a superpower because it gives us the opportunity to see things through a different lens and maybe even tackle things that others would be scared to throw themselves into. And I see this a lot as well. And I see other big famous entrepreneurs on social media talk about, you know, having a team. For me, from the jump, I was very vocal about doing Black Farmers Market. I spoke to anyone that would listen about it. I reached out to everyone and anyone I could find. I just kept talking about it. And I kept asking for help because I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the
team,
and for the team. And where I'm not so great at the social media and all of that, I've got a fantastic member of our team, Larissa, who loves it.
That's a must. I have someone as well.
And then, you know, you need that person like Obie, who's absolutely fantastic with, you know, setting out the comms and communicating with people and knowing the networks. So it's like everywhere where I might feel overwhelmed or it feels like too much for me, it's always about me, okay, this is where I know my weaknesses.
Excellent.
Who and where are other people that can help us to overcome this? Because the project needs to go forward. This isn't about me being proud and trying to do everything.
Yeah.
I will break. I'm one person and I have limitations. But as us, as a group, as a community and as a collective, we're unstoppable.
Great. That's beautiful. You know, it's interesting when you see this kind of concept of biodiversity in nature, and it's the same sort of thing. You know, we call it companion planting. You bring your team, you basically bring the different elements together to make it grow and create those deep roots and resilience as well. So that's brilliant. So we talked a little about the challenges. What are some of the highlights from Black Farmers Market? Because I feel so often whenever we get into a narrative of myself guilty, the problems, but I can see so many, like, in a short space of time. In fact, did we even ask you how long Black Farmers would be working?
Registered officially June 2022. Finally got some money in to do something with it, I think about September 2022. And by October was our first market. Like literally, I think I had 6 weeks to turn it over and it was hard and stressful. But still so good. You came down to the first market.
It was amazing.
Yeah, and you know what made Project Gardens did was fantastic. There was your tent was overrun with people that wanted to learn about permaculture, and you know were looking for advice. And there was so many seeds that were sown from that, and people that moved on from that and started volunteering, started to learn about growing their own food and seeking about getting their own land. From conversations that happened at a free event on Brixton Station Road in 2022.
Phenomenal.
And so, that's what we want to bring to every event. So what I love about the events, I love the traders. I love bringing in people that already have businesses. And I had some fantastic feedback from people that, selling from candles to cards and saying, when I come to your market, you've got volunteers that are offering to help me, like so friendly. And knowing, being a trader myself at one point, knowing where the gaps were, I just needed someone to ask how I was and if I wanted some water. We always making sure that there's
people care.
Doing that. People care is a big thing. Another thing for me is for the growers. A lot of our growers weren't traders, so it's about bringing them along that journey. Like, do you need insurance? Do you need a card reader? Are you confident speaking to the customers? Have you priced your products? Have you weighed them out? There's so much to think about when you haven't done it before. It's not just turning up and selling stuff. There's a lot of preparation that goes into it. And then there's confidence just talking to people and selling what you've grown, and seeing some of my traders go from, and especially the growers, go from a place of never done this before to when are we doing it again? Amazing. And then the workshops. So as I was saying, make Project Gardens did at the market, and what the Forest School did at the market last year, and what the herbalists do when they come to the market. People coming along and learning how to make their own tinctures, learning how to grow or sprout their own, microgreens, and yeah, just seeing people being able to take something away, even if they don't have anything. Because that's a thing for me. You know, when you're a small trader with a business, it's very expensive. Like, your products probably aren't going to be the cheapest if you compare it to like Lidl, Aldi.
Yeah.
So, you know, is there still a way that people can engage in the day and still feel like they can take part and still feel like there's something there for them? And yes, at the Black Farmers Market events, there always is, even if that means ending with live rapping from KMT, you know,
by getting harassed by some slightly inebriated individuals. But it's Brixton. That's what I'm saying. It was like, everyone was like, I don't know how you did. And I mean, I saw the way, for those people who've never been to it, please come along. It's an absolutely beautiful celebration of diversity, Black excellence, diversity, products. And I just want to tap into this little thing. I just want to pull back this thing about the cost, because I think it's a really important part, and it's a conversation we don't have, not just in the Black community, but as independent traders. And just to remind people that, yes, the cost sometimes is a little bit higher because we are independent. We don't have that chain where we can buy in bulk. So very often when I was younger, I used to have this conversation when, you know, my elders used to go to black pubs and they say, oh, they charge so much more than maybe a mainstream pub. But actually, I think it's a really important point that we actually talk about, or just raise and just highlight the fact that actually, because we don't have that supply chain, our costs are higher. So when you're coming to independent trainers, please don't ask for a discount. Buy it because the amount of work they put into it and the, you know, the value they put into it as well. Just want to make that point because I think it's really important. I see so many questions when people go to traders like, that's more expensive than this, than Body Shop or whatever. But actually, as I said, it's a massive big company as well. So I just want to put that out there as well. What's the next plans for this site as well? What's the plans? You've talked a little about the market. When are you looking? Is there a timeline on it? What's the idea? Or are you still in the infancy? And also, what support do you need? You're running a crowdfunder, is that correct? Coming up?
So we've got a crowdfunder coming up. We decided later on in the year.
Right.
At the moment, we're launching a local giving page.
Right.
So we will be asking for donations and what people can give so that we can get started on just preparing the land at this point. So yeah, we want to get people in volunteering, obviously. Volunteers are going to need the gloves, they're going to need equipment, they're going to need supervising. So, you know, the cost towards that is what we're fundraising for the time being. We need to prepare the land as well. We need to kill off the weeds and the grass so that it's ready for us to start like digging out and planting in by the end of the year. So yeah, we want to kind of tarpaulin over the land and stuff. So we're working on that now and kind of building in that workforce in a way. But yeah, the volunteer workforce and also, yeah, community. Like, we are here in Croydon, and we kind of like, I feel like we've been sprinkling around and telling people we're here and people are interested, but we want to create something that's way more formal so people do know when they can come, who they can talk to, how they can get in contact and how they can get involved. Because we really do want this to be for the community. Like, we really do want people to feel like this space is for you.
It sounds like you've got everything really under control, but we know that doing a vision is sometimes really challenging. What support or what can we ask people to do in order to support you? Or what's the call to action to make them help you? We've got is it Just Giving? Is that the local giving? Okay, so please donate to that as well to make sure you've got resources to enable you to have the tools to basically to do the work. But beyond just finance, what other things do you need in terms of, you know, from people or the community or even corporate companies, for example?
Absolutely. It would be fantastic to get support and sponsorship, and doing collaborations with, you know, bigger brands and those with more resources than, you know, we can imagine. And then it would be great kind of just to be connected. We want to build networks, especially here in Croydon, because it's where the land is, with local groups, with the community, invite people down. And then I think also, you know, when we were talking earlier about expertise, like, this is new ground for us. So, you know, who has expertise in how to do that, how to set up your market garden, how to set up a successful volunteer scheme where people really benefit from it. Because it's not just about what we get out of it, it's what do the volunteers get out of it, and what do the community get out of it. We want to open up, so kind of in that space where we're ideating and trying to imagine what the space is like and what we're doing with it. We want to bring the community in. It's not about like, this is what's in my head because I had a dream yesterday. It's about, what does the community actually want? Like, let's sit down together, let's break bread and let's put our ideas down.
Excellent.
And so let's bring all of that in. Because when I said that, we are down for experimenting and trying new things, like, what's your ideas? Doesn't mean that my ideas aren't better than yours just because I'm the one who's leading on it. It's like you could come with the idea that I didn't even think of, or a way of doing things, or a way of positioning things. Like, I just want to see what's out there, because I feel like there's so much talent that's just hidden, that isn't given the opportunity, voices that aren't given the space to speak, and ideas that aren't given the platform to be heard. And that's what we're about creating. So bringing all of that in, bringing those voices in, bringing those ideas together, and just seeing what we can create.
Already with what you've done within 2 to 3 years with Black Farmers Market, it's you had people coming from, I think people came as far as Birmingham. I had someone came from Scotland to come to the Black Farmers Market.
I don't know.
I swear, someone was from Scotland when we were chatting to them that came all that way so there's a need for it. There's definitely a need. So again, congratulations for everything you're doing. We wish you every success on your journey, and it's going to be an amazing buzz. We look forward to being more connected and seeing the progress as well.
Thank you.
Blessings.
So much.
Thank you. I really enjoyed my chat with Natasha Pencil from the Black Farmers Market. It was a fascinating insight to learn about economics, the importance of well-being, the importance of growth for the Black community and further afield. The life of a bee is very busy, so I need to take a moment, take a rest, take a pause, just to remind you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to invest or you're a sponsor, please do invest via our local giving page. I'm still buzzing because we have another special guest, Obie Campbell from Black Farmers Market. Introduce yourself, please, and tell people what your role is with Black Farmers Market.
Sure. So my name's Obie, and my role is wearing many hats, as often most of us do. But I started off with Black Farmers Market being a facilitator, working with May Project Gardens.
That's a must.
And then I grew like a flower, and I became a co-director of Black Farmers Market, because I started off being a coordinator and then grew into actually becoming a co-director and taking on that big responsibility.
And how do you find the difference between a co-director and that jump into being, a facilitator and then being a co-director? How have you found that transition? How have you found that?
Right, so having the title co-director feels like a key, and it has opened up me to have a lot more important conversations with people who hold the key to the gate, and so it's given me that empowerment to have those conversations and to say I'm the co-director in it, and it gives a certain status. But I definitely think in this industry and in this world, people want to be talking to the person who's leading or seen as entrepreneurial, and so it's given me that opportunity to have those more important conversations and to start partnerships and speak on a level where the person wants to speak with you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's a buzz. And it's interesting you mentioned the environment, because you started in a totally different world. I think you hold a Guinness World Record. What's the Guinness World Record for?
Spinning the most hula hoops as part of a team. So it was a team effort, but yeah, it was around 30 or 40 hoops each. And so that equals quite a lot when you've got 10 people all doing it.
But you left that world to join the Black Farmers Market and May for the Gardens. I mean...
Yeah, well, I was leading a quite toxic life. I was living fast. I wasn't looking after myself. I wasn't feeding myself properly. And so through illness and through dis-ease, I had to really take a step back and look after myself and learn about how to grow my own food, cook my own food that I've grown. And I just went on this journey. And one day I was taking a walk down my local street, and I saw this guy growing some tomatoes, and I said to him, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, I come here every week, and he grows so many things," and he was so knowledgeable about growing. And it was a quite radical space that he was doing it in front of a bus garage. and it was an unused space and stuff. And so I started volunteering and getting into the green movement and learning those key skills and just upskilling in the most incredible way.
Food is your medicine.
It is definitely a medicine.
Great. And then from that, so you've now moved on to an organisation, you work for Black Farmers Market. And what's also unique is that it's an all-women, Black women-led organisation. Now, in the previous podcast with Joyty, we talked about basically 80% of all farmers globally are women, all peasant farmers are women. So what's the experience in living in a more urban environment and leading a Black-led female organisation? How do you find it?
Well, it is extended family. I'm from a Jamaican heritage, and we have aunties and uncles who aren't actually auntie and uncle, but aunties and uncles, but it's so nice to have an extended family, and we connect with each other. We're sisters. We support one another, and that's not something that you get in more of a maybe white-led organisation, which is quite dominant in the environmental spaces. But we have that cultural, we say that phrase, like we're cultural carers. And we talk about specifically female things as well, and we talk about menstruation, and we talk about how we can grow herbs to look after our wombs, and like we can share that female knowledge in it. So it's very empowering.
That's beautiful. And then I suppose the flip side of that are the challenges, because you are not only are you a Black-led organisation, you're a female-led organisation in the sector that's the second least diverse, and farming, which is the least diverse. What are some of the challenges that you face? Because I know we've spoken about a few of them through our conversation with, actually you're doing a great job with this partnership, with this space, but that hasn't always been the case. What are some of the challenges that you face as an individual, as an organisation in this process, in this journey?
As an individual, unfortunately, I faced working in environments, especially non-for-profit, where it can become very, again, I mentioned that word toxic, but things like micro-management happens, and there's the more kind of systems that are put in place, it kind of makes you, I don't know, very...
It kind of limits you, like dumbs you down, restricts you. Yeah. I mean, it's the same. We talk about in the track Hard Is. We can't deliver and evaluate because there's so many lives at stake, and that's the same thing with Made Product Gardens. And I think it's the same thing. There's so much governance, but then it doesn't allow you to do like your essence, like what your strengths are as well. So I totally understand that as well. So also, what are your personal challenges? Because I believe that you're also part of the diversity crew as well, are you? So there's like three of us. How are we even functioning? Like three people, three. There should only be one, there should only be two, but three. It's like So how do you? What are the things for you being that neurodiverse as well? Like, what are the challenges for you?
Well, I think it's naturally gravitate towards one another, and being able to creatively express yourself. And what I enjoy with Black Farmers Market is that chance to develop. And so I talked about my journey going from facilitator to co-director, and I'm finding more and more that I'm able to play to my strengths. Excellent. And be able to form a partnership, so be a bee, be a pollinator. Love that. And then also imagine. So this space is going to be an incredible canvas.
So let's talk about that, because they talk about dyslexics being able to have big picture vision. So what is your vision for this? We're now, where are we at? What's the space? This place called? This is called
Meadow Hill.
Right.
And it's in Croydon. In Colston, but Croydon is one of the most, I was just reading, it's one of the most deprived boroughs.
That's correct.
Out of 6.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really high priority area. But this space is an incredible countryside, and it's an incredible open space, and it's definitely a hidden gem at the moment, but we really want to put this on the map make
Right.
it an accessible space.
And let's talk about how you're going to make it accessible. What do you envisage happening to the space? Give me some examples. Give me a flavour. Give me a taste of what we can expect for the 1.5 acres, man. I'm excited just by being there. I'm buzzing.
I think, well, firstly, like co-designing, collaboratively designing with one another is definitely the first step. So it's not going to be Natasha or myself, and we're not going to be leading this. It's going to be about empowering others and we're all about giving a platform. And this is a platform, like you said, it's a canvas. We are not expert growers, so we're also on this journey ourselves. But yeah, just imagining this space being built together, communal. I was already talking about maybe having from other community gardens and also other female-led community gardens, there are certain sections within the spaces that are like a room space,
Oh, wow.
and room healing, and there's your mindful space, and there's a fantastic book called Farming Well Black,
Yeah.
and we want to have that cultural heritage and practice and bring that ancestral knowledge to this land, and the cookouts. So nourishment,
Food, yeah?
food.
All right. Sounds good to me. I'm there. Give me the dates.
Yeah, and we're gonna have and we're gonna build, and we're gonna have that cooking on the land, eating on the land, because nourishment is definitely important for Black Farmers Market.
Beautiful. Fantastic. Thank you once again for your time, Obie. It's been a pleasure. It's been a buzz. See you on the other side.
Peace.
Peace.
The surf, our home, the place we grow our seeds. A world of opportunity, some squandered because of greed.